Magda
What
is
is
my
your name?
My name is Magda.
Your name is Mansa.
Magda.
Bansa.
Magda.
Mazda.
Magda. Magda.
Mark it down.
Magda.
Eh?
Magda. Magda. Magdalene. The full name.
Okay. Ha! Since I am here, you know, say Magda. Mazda.
No, I didn't say Mazda.
Manta. I say, think about Mazda. Manta. You say, which one? So your name is what?
My name is full name Magdalene.
Magdalene.
Yes.
Magdalene who? Magdalene who?
Mama, why are you bopiri?
Ikine.
Why are you bopiri this in this age? Now age again as Amanda.
That's the short form. That's how everybody. That's the short form. That's how everybody call me.
You say?
That's the short form. That's.
Mama, you are before God.
Yes. Yes.
You need your.
Tune in and vibe, feel the beats. Friday hangout, where the stories unfold. We'll dive deep, let the truth be told. From laughter to lessons, we learn and we play. Change media, we light up your Friday. Join in and vibe, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. It's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. Ginger Media, it's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. It's Friday night, let the laughter rise. And Ginger Media, we uncover the lies. Mazia is okay, the voice that connects. Serious talk with humor that reflects. Exploring news behind every line. Friday hangout, where the stories unfold. We'll dive deep, let the truth be told. From laughter to lessons, we learn and we play. Ginger Media, we light up your Friday.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for joining me today. It's the 14th of February 2025. And today is also a special day known as the Valentine's Day. I say to every one of you watching me, happy Valentine's Day, irrespective of wherever you are joining me from. Buonasera, bonjour, schönen guten Abend, ndewono, ekaro, inakwana. I said to all of us, good evening. Just grab your seat, get something to drink. It's going to be an interesting evening today. Today we will be looking at United States aid. As a revelation was made earlier today by a U.S. Congressman, Scott Perry, who informed the world that Boko Haram was also funded by the fund from the United States, USAID. It becomes a thing of worrying. And when everybody begins to ask this question, recall that in 2014, over 200 girls were kidnapped from Chibok. Again, recall that in 2009, under former President Omar Musa Yar'Adua, the founder of Boko Haram, Yusuf, was captured alive, and he died under mysterious circumstances in the police custody. If you read a piece penned by Femi Fani Kayode earlier today, in as much as he's a person one wouldn't take so much serious, but at least he provided the historical context to piece the pieces together. You know that the mess that we have today, caused by the APC, by the incompetent president named Buhari, I do believe that if PDP were to still be in power, I do not think that this level of mess will be here. But hey, it's neither here nor there. PDP had their own share of the blame because the government then was seen as corrupt and very, very corrupt. Without further ado, let's quickly run through the program today. Then we're going to also pay tribute to a legend, a man I know very well, a man I have interviewed on this platform during the COVID time, a man I have, when it comes to ethnic nationalities, one of the only persons that can speak and make direct references to Dr. Nanda Zikiwe, late Awolowo. It's I normally feel nostalgic when I speak to some of these men who will say, "Oh, I was conversing with Awolowo. This is what Awolowo said to me. This is what Bola Ige said to me. This is what Zik said to me. This is what one of the M.I. Okpara, great men. Sadly, he died in the early hours of today in Lagos. He was aged 96. Wow. I could only say, wow. Pa, may your soul rest in peace. I recall during the COVID, I will try to see if I can find the video again. The video is on our YouTube channel here. I recall during the COVID, I had Pa Ayo Adebanjo on this platform. I had Pa Tanko Yakasai on this platform, and I had Dr. Nyanwodo, the former President General Ohaneze Ndigbo. The argument on nation building was breathtaking. Breathtaking. And I sit back interviewing these great men and I hear them speak. I can only smile in admiration. Pa Ayo Adebanjo is one of those men that you, in your quiet moment, will think, may he never die. May he never die. The last engagement that involved me with him was in April 2022, when we converged in Abuja, when the people of Southeast wanted to do, support one of their sons, and we converged in ICC in Abuja. Sadly, he didn't come. Likewise, Pa Edwin Clark, who is also now 97. But he, sent his video recorded message afterwards because my trajectory has left Lagos. I have not been able to fly into Lagos to go see him. The same applies to Pa Tanko Yakasai. Great men, great minds. Now we are losing almost all of them. I will say to him, it is a privilege that I have come to meet him. It is a privilege that I have ever had contact with him. I feel honored. Once more, may his soul rest in peace. Having said that, we are going to look at also the brouhaha between the marital barakboism between Two-Face Idibia and Natasha, the young lady at the Edo State House of Assembly. Earlier today in the morning, or late yesterday, Two-Face mother made a video where she is accusing Natasha of some sort of juju, saying that please, she remove the necklace, the bead on Two-Face arm and the bead and on the neck, that Two-Face is not acting with clear eyes. Who will go ask? We can't go to Anambra State and ask them because all the native doctors that are in my state of Anambra are on the run. Hana Boso Soludo. Eke heat is being heated up. His spot is being Tiwana now with Aguna Chamber. Be that as it may, we're going to move on. And we're going to also review that Canada denied some of the Nigerian army visa, and in anger, the NSA, that is in the person of Nuhu Ribadu, was angry, and he told the Canadians that they can go to hell and do one. We are going to also review, update on the UniZik student who fought his lecturer when the lecturer excused himself from a TikTok video that she was doing. I made a video here when I said respect. It's, with the Gen Zs, respect, it's something that it's no longer neither here nor there. Sometimes, as a parent, especially if you have children between the ages of 17, 18, 19, you keep hammering, you keep talking. I was just jokingly telling someone, I can see that young girl, for many of our children, behaving in that silly manner. There is an update from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, regarding that assault on a lecturer. She really held the lecturer, tore her clothes, beat the lecturer here because the lecturer had to go and take some tetanus injection and rabies, I believe. So it's really a surprising one. The question is, by the decision taken by the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, many now argue that that decision appears to be too harsh. Do you agree that that decision is too harsh? We have to get the ball rolling now. I am your host once more. My name is Mazes. Okay, let's get the ball rolling.
And then you meet your will cover the lies. Mazes, okay, the voice that connects.
People, that's the Friday
Serious talk with
hangout.
humor that reflects.
That's the Friday hangout where
Exploring
we
you behind every line.
So that's our Friday hangout. We're going to start by pushing up the video where that revelation was made. That revelation that has taken everybody by surprise. That revelation that people are saying, wow, can something like this really happen? Right? We are going to play you that video. Just have a listen.
Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism. This has got to end. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
So, how do you feel listening to this and you hear this part? And let's listen to
annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram.
Listen to that again.
ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding.
Wow.
If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel, entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General.
So we're going to bring in Dr. Goodluck Ebere Jonathan here to tell us what he knows about these Boko Haram. Good luck.
The level of interference by the Obama's government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I couldn't have won the election even with that. But if, by my own thinking, and also the way some other people looked at it, they go outside the normal diplomatic relationship, then it should be mentioned.
You understand when John Kerry came to Nigeria and go on
sending that person to Nigeria at the eve of election, after Obama even issued a statement directing Nigerians to vote for the next chapter, that tells you something. And we should not sweep these things under the carpet. If a foreign country, or an African country, or even America or any other country interferes with our own elections, we should mention it.
Let's wait here. Chibok girls. Remember that initially Goodluck Jonathan did not believe that Chibok girls were kidnapped. Suddenly, he eventually believed that Chibok girls were a political tool. One thing that is becoming apparent now is that those actors that partook in the Chibok girls debacle were genuine concerned Nigerians, especially the ladies. They were mothers who felt it's abnormal to kidnap. Do you understand the logistics of taking 200 students? The vehicular movement that should be involved, move all of them to a certain place where they will not be seen. If you begin to connect the dots, it meant that maybe there were superior powers that actually helped them in those. We're going to be doing a lot of exposition tonight because if we go back to the new chief of defense staff, the revelations that the ones he made in Abuja, the ones he made with Al Jazeera, saying that even NGOs are supplying materials, including ammunitions, to Boko Haram, to Ansaru, to these people. If we come to the things happening in the southeast since NSAS. NSAS had happened in October, early September, got brutal 20th of October 2020. That is 5 years now, in a couple of months, in 8 months. It's going to be 5 freaking years. Yet, something is still happening. The Southeast has not known peace since NSAS. Many of us, myself included, are beginning to ask, are some of our brothers being used to destabilize the Southeast without knowing? Some people are beginning to question why Anambra and Imo State. Is it because of some natural resources? Ask yourself, why Zamfara? Why Zamfara? Gold. Why Imo? Gas. Why Anambra? Gas. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. But hey, by the end of this evening, guys, we should be able to understand if there is anything that is behind it. Let's continue. Chibok.
Immediately the Chibok issue came up, we expect Nigerians to be concerned. How do we get these girls out? Within a couple of days, we saw people going to the US would bring back our girls' placards. How? Why? And of course, the Mrs. Obama received one of those placards. I cannot take responsibility for the abduction. I don't control Boko Haram. They are criminals. But as a president, of course, it's not the president that go to the field. You have security and intelligence officers that do the work. Let me admit that, yes, maybe they do their best, but their best was not good enough for us to recover the girls. That does not mean that I'm trying to remove myself from any blame. Yes, I may not be blamed for the action, but I could be blamed that my security and intelligence systems were not strong enough to be able to rescue the girls.
Question is, was Buhari actually innocent in the whole plot? I know so many of you wouldn't want to hear this, because with the level of information that we now have, we are beginning to question most of the actors, especially the goons in the APC. Those that promised change, but eventually they changed the change from us. Those that promised us, is beginning to make sense. Recall when they told us that things is going to go, the APC is going to be from top to bottom. We thought it was a joke. We didn't know that when we had dollars at 160, 170, that was the top. We didn't know we were going to the bottom, like Buhari told us.
That is okay.
Right? We didn't know.
ABC Nigeria from top to bottom.
Nigeria from top to bottom. From top to bottom. Now that is one angle. If we go back and ask and look at the army chief and look at another revelation that he made. Because you see, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but there are things that will begin to happen. You will now go back to videos, things you didn't take much serious, and begin to pay attention to them. Listen to our army chief, what he says here. Please listen.
Yes.
NGOs, there are so many things. If we want to go into NGO issues, there are so many things I had. Initially, when the NGOs came in, when we started, they didn't want any oversight function. They didn't want us to know where they were going to. We had issues with that because now they will go into the enclave of the terrorists and go and treat them. You are treating the same people that is attacking the communities. You tell them no, that you are neutral. How neutral can you be? We've had situations where allegations of arms, them conveying arms to us just to make sure that the war continues. We've had situations where they will tell you they are taking food to communities. Halfway, they will tell you the trailer has broken down.
Pause. We have the USAID or the USAID was supposed to come and help with numerous NGOs. Now, our head of army is telling us they found on numerous occasions where they go in there, they see dollars, they see foreign currencies. Recall that one of the negotiations that happened under Buhari, that was where they said one guy, one entity from Canada came and negotiated, and they paid dollars and euros to them. I think after Chibok, there was the other one. After Chibok, there is the other one that happened where we had to negotiate and we paid dollars. So when you listen to all these things, it's beginning to make sense because you're listening to the head of the army is telling you that even when they want to deliver food to the villagers, they will tell you, oh, that this food, the Boko Haram have taken those food, they can no longer deliver them.
Arms, them conveying arms to us just to make sure that the war continues. Mm-hmm. We've had situations where they will tell you they are taking food to communities. Halfway, they will tell you the trailer has broken down. By next morning, the trailer is empty. And that vehicle that is broken down, the driver will just go and drive it and take it back. So what had happened? You have funded those guys. You are taking care of them equally. We've had several situations like that. So we said, no, it can't continue like that. And that's why we insisted with the state government that, look, the state government must know what's going on. So if any NGO comes, it must be registered. We must monitor what's going on. We've had situations where NGOs will come in with unidentified individuals entering communities. You don't even know what they're doing. They don't have NGO ID cards. They are not part of the government. Who is taking them to? What are they going there for? And so by the time we start monitoring what they were doing, we noticed things started getting better. So which means something is going on somewhere. Because they come from all over the world and you don't know who is who. So
is it making sense now? When they come from all over the world, you don't know who is who. Does it mean if you go back, listen, because Donald Trump is proving, I'm still going to come back to the Nigerian one, but if we go back here and let's listen to this again, what these guys are using the money of the USAID for, just opposite to what the revelation given to us by the head of Nigerian military is beginning to make a lot of sense. People.
Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship.
So these are the things that we are funding. Jesus.
So that's why for every country, please regulate what the NGOs are doing, monitor what they're doing. Most times you hear them telling you that they spent $10 million, and then you wonder where.
Where?
Most times the money is spent on themselves, on their luxuries, the hotels they stay, the vehicles they are using, and all those things. The locals don't benefit much from them. And yet this thing keeps on. I've told you, somebody will come and pay for a house for 10 years ahead. So what is he trying to tell you? This thing will never end until after 10 years, or maybe he will renew it.
Exactly.
And again, I always remember that if there is peace and the threat level is low, one, they are going to retrench them. Two, their hazard allowance will reduce. How many of them will want that? We're not saying all of them are bad. No, some are really doing very well. Some are extremely doing very well. But again, please don't just assume they're just monitor what's going on, monitor what's being spent. I think it's important. I think we've dealt with the issue.
There's the last one of extermination of the.
When is it going to end? Maybe I should ask you, when is criminality going to end? It's something that we have to live. No, the truth about it is just something that's the new world order, and it's everywhere. In America, how many killings are going on? It's all acts of terrorism. It's going to be in every country. It is your ability to mitigate, to deal with it in such a way that it does not affect the normal lives of the people. But acts of criminality will continue. That is for sure. Countries that have not had it, please don't allow it to start. Whatever it takes, once they start, please nip it immediately in the bud. It's very important. And what does it take? Monitoring. Monitoring is good. Law enforcement, legal system. These are areas that we're having a lot of challenges.
So when you listen to this, just oppose it by with the revelation made by the United States rep. It will begin to make sense to you. Now, if you look at another truth, I say another truth because he had a similar conversation with Al Jazeera. And he said similar thing. This is now outside, this is not now the Nigerian television house. And he had the following regarding the same similar thing that he had to say.
Force. I wonder in your mind whether any of this may have strengthened your enemy. We've talked about a period of 15 long years here. We've talked about playing an almighty game of catch-up. But in the meantime, we've seen Boko Haram regroup and regroup and regroup. What is your answer to that? That you have in some way fed the insurgents?
The problem is that I think we've talked to international community. Let's find out the funding. When they started surrendering, by the time we left, so as we speak, we have over 120,000 that have surrendered. Most of them, when you find them, they are coming with hard currencies. How did they get them? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment?
What is your suspicion?
Well, maybe an international conspiracy. You don't know. Who knows? How are they be able to sustain themselves for 15 years?
I think at this point, he actually knew more than he gave out. At this point, he knew there was international conspiracy. There is this entity that funds them. But again, when the interviewer basically pushed him, he didn't say that. But from the video we have gotten today, so we can actually make that fusion to say, well, what he was avoiding to say is that USAID.
That is one question I think everybody should ask himself. For Nigeria to be able to hold them, and you go to Nigeria, everything seems to be working well.
You must have an idea. I mean, let's not talk about international conspiracy theories. Let's give some hard facts.
Well, I just leave it at that. I'm sure they know, and I'm sure everybody knows that these are the challenges we're facing, that needs to be addressed. So the UN need to come in to ensure that, because we need to trace the funding. How are they sustaining themselves for 15 years?
What does the UN coming in mean? What does that look like?
Track the funding. It's international flow. We don't have control over.
Okay, I think at this point, we don't need UN. Nigeria is a sovereign state. What you should do is track, get, destroy whoever it is. At this point, it doesn't matter. Track, get whoever is involved, destroy. That's the least you can do now, because it is now becoming unbelievable. That is the least you can do. Track, gate, destroy. So when you look at this and understand that what we suffered in Nigeria is actually not, not necessarily by the making of those who we may have accused. That doesn't mean that the locals didn't have any input into the destruction. The only thing that one would then say is that it appears that even them may, in some cases, they may not even be too aware of what was happening. In some cases, they may know, because it has really, really made the people of northern Nigeria today to begin to come up with ideas to say, oh, actually, we were not the ones causing these Boko Haram attacks in Nigeria. It was actually done by foreigners using our people. But again, irrespective of the fact, what we may have to and what Nigerians must do is to ensure that regions that haven't experienced something like this must, by every means, ensure that their younger ones are not used for such. There is a good again, many may disagree, but let me quickly find that by Fani Kayode, I believe what he wrote earlier. Where is it? I just need to, there was something I believe written by Fani Kayode earlier. You may not agree with him in all things, but I believe there are areas that, even a madman has his own usefulness, right? I think even a madman has his own usefulness. But anyway, I probably would get that later if I ever see that again. So the bottom line is, whatever Nigeria, whatever is happening here, we now know where some of these things are coming from. So we now know where these things are coming from. So it is now left for us as Nigerians to demand that by what Trump has now, through Elon Musk's DOGE, that is Department of Government Efficiency, by that alone, if that funding mechanism is killed, there might be succor in the horizon for Nigeria. As long as our brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora does not take over and keep funding the mess. But if not, if this funding stops, and if we do not have a bunch of idiots who from the diaspora contribute money to fund such operations, then very clear, the whole thing may come to an end sooner than later. So people, this is, I found this really, really very intriguing and interesting, right? So, like I said before, having said this, I will say once more to our great leader and Ayo Adebanjo, once more, rest in peace, a man who attained a wonderful year of 96, who died earlier today. I'll say to him, may your soul rest in peace. Okay, let's move on. Now, let's bring in the, in the spirit of Valentine, let's probably start with the Two-Face Idibia's story. Two-Face Idibia. You understand that Two-Face is divorcing with Annie Idibia. The mom, Two-Face mom, earlier or late yesterday, brought the family matter brought the family matter to the social media in-laws, asking people, the Edo people, to go and beg Natasha to leave her son alone. But one thing that got me interested in the story is the name. Please, those of you watching and those of you watching from Edo, tell me, is Two-Face mother from Edo? Just listen to this. So let's see if Two-Face mother from Edo. What's happening? My internet is buffering. Okay, we will bring that back again. Hold on. We will bring that back. Okay, sorry. We are now ready. Let's try once.
Singer Innocent Two-Face Idibia publicly confirmed his romantic relationship with the Edo lawmaker Natasha Osawaru Igbenedion. A now viral video showed the moment the singer went on bended knees to propose to her. Let's take a look.
Live performance.
There's some of the hype men there are really funny. They're there shouting live performance. So, but let's quickly take this once more. Sorry, the clip is buffering. Let's try quickly. Try to fix it. Then we'll come back to this once more. Okay.
It's Friday night, let the laughter rise. And then you meet you, we'll cover the lies. Mazia is okay, the voice that connects. Serious talk with humor that reflects. Exploring news behind every line. Friday hangout where the stories unfold. We'll dive deep, let the truth be told. From laughter to lessons, we learn and we play. Change media, we light up your Friday. Cameras rolling, passions ignite. From Nigeria to the world, shining so bright. Entertainment flows through every decree. Celebrating Africa, come join the spree. Tune in and vibe, feel the beats. Friday hangout, where the stories unfold. We'll dive deep, let the truth be told. From laughter to lessons, we learn and we play. Change media, we light.
Okay, so let's take that once more.
Just few days after legendary Afrobeat singer Innocent Two-Face Idibia publicly confirmed his romantic relationship with the Edo lawmaker.
Oh dear. Let me try something else. Oh, okay.
Moment. on bended knees to propose to her. Let's take a look.
Live performance. Not yet, please. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
All right, there were some scenes there that,
Yes,
we saw. Which what scene was that?
Is it 1,000 naira notes?
It could be dollars. I didn't really see it
No,
properly.
is it dollars or
It
naira?
could be fake naira too.
You saw blue money. Is it dollars or naira?
All right.
Oh yeah, can we zoom in?
Okay, no
and
problem.
see if
No
it's,
problem. But this is for Rufai is doing
because
for
that's
us.
a lawmaker, so that we say it now.
Absolutely. She is a lawmaker. You're absolutely right. But this video has sparked a lot of conversations online, especially given the fact that only recently he declared his love, and he also talked about the fact that he is fine with Annie Dibia. He's still going through a divorce, and now we are seeing an engagement. I mean, I don't know how right that is. Well, in a new twist of events, Two-Face's mother, Rose Idibia, has asked the Edo lawmaker Natasha Oshawaru to allow her son to go through the proper process of divorce before moving ahead with their marriage, alleging in this video, now making the rounds on social media, that her son is under a spell. Let's take a look.
Good evening, Nigerians. My name is Mrs. Rose Idibia. This message is for Miss Natasha Osauru of Edo State. I'm calling on all mothers in Nigeria to help me beg her to release or to free my son. My son is going through a divorce process and he's clearly not in his right senses now. I know my son. This is not him. Please, Natasha, the bead you put on his hand and on his neck, remove them and free him.
All right, this is the video of the moment. At this time, we are seeing that there's some division in the family. I mean, Rosie Dibia in her rightful place, asking mothers, even like me, to intervene, intervene in the conversation. I don't think that it is right to propose to another woman if you have not gone through a divorce. You can declare your love, you can say what you want to do, but we saw Annie Dibia.
Is that a proposal?
It is a proposal now. It's everywhere. Can you not see Rufa? It could be an act.
That's another
thing.
Could it be
I doubt that. It could
be. That's why we are not sure.
Anyway, just like they try to explain in the studio, do you think it is right you have not divorced or you haven't gone through the process of divorce and you're publicly engaging? I think in certain countries that is frowned at. Obviously that is not yet married, but in certain countries that frown at people marrying to more than one. What do you think? Maybe the wife could now use this as an excuse either not to agree to divorce or make certain demands with these development. What do you think? Do you think doesn't matter they can do whatever they want, whether juju or no juju, whether whatever, they can just basically go ahead and do whatever they want. Nobody cares. Anyway, quickly, we will be concluding this evening by looking at NSA, that is Nuhu Ribadu, in the statement he made where he asked Canadians or the Canadian embassy or the Canadian Canada as a nation to go to hell because visa was refused to some of the Nigerian army personnel who were going to Canada from some sort of engagement. Just one.
Public light with this sort of, information. Well, we'll take another story now. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, was trending on Thursday after a video surfaced online showing him expressing his displeasure at the Canadian High Commission for denying Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff, and other Army chiefs visas. Ribadu, while speaking during the maiden annual lecture of the National Association of the Institute for Security Studies, described the visa snub as disrespectful, saying that the Canadian government can go to hell. Let's take a look at that video before we take some reaction.
If this country is going to work, we have to do a lot of work. Thank you for the courage to say that Canada denied you. They can go to hell. Even though it's painful, it's disrespectful, but we are people. We are strong. And I agree with you. We have to fix our country. We have to.
This particular video has elicited, a lot of commentary from Nigerians online. Many do believe that, you may disagree with the NSA, but if it takes other countries refusing our elite visas to their own countries for us to fix our own country, then many of us would argue, bring it on. Right? Bring it on. If it's going to take others to say, hey, sit back. Some of you will say, Kumasef, like the one who bought passenger jets and that is converted into a presidential jet and is flying all over the world. And every other week he goes to France to go and do medical checkup, and they say it's a private visit. Many of you, I can read what you're saying. I can even read your mind. You're saying France should pursue him to go back to Nigeria and go to the, since he's the Mongo Park of Lagos, the one who discovered and built Lagos, he should go to those hospitals that he built in Lagos and go and take treatment. I mean, why not? If Canada can actually stop giving them any form of visa, let everybody stay home, let us kill ourselves here, and eventually we'll find a way to fix this place.
To do it well. Yes, this disrespect is too much. So, it is another reason why we work hard to make Nigeria work.
All right, let me take this reaction from Oguntoye, who wrote, the NSA made a valid point by speaking to the audience on the need to develop Nigeria, thereby wouldn't make Nigerians to see the need for relocating to other countries, Canada included. I wholly support his reasoning because oftentimes we travel because the nation isn't truly developed. But if we can continue in this developmental stride, with Tinubu's positive policies, Nigerians wouldn't see the need to visit any nation. I mean, traveling is fundamental, right? We can always travel and visit other countries at this point. Yeah. But I mean, Nuhu Ribadu's point, I thought was quite apt because he did make a lot of solid points in terms of developing our nation. I really like that point personally. Rufai, I know you want to say something.
We will travel. People will travel. The question is, when did Nigeria get to the point that it's been disrespected? I think that's the big question we should ask. Because when you look at it, we should go back to what has transpired over the years. But on the second thought, he said one part of his contingent was given their visa. They are already in Canada.
Yes.
That's what the chief of the CDS did say. It's the second part that was not given.
Why?
So I think we should investigate and get from the Canadian embassy. Why did that happen? Secondly, Nuhu Ribadu can make a case for development, which is fine, but saying countries should go to hell, Question is that the best thing for a national security advisor to say when matters like this happen? It's not even his purview any longer.
Yes.
It should be the Minister of Foreign Affairs that will take it on with the Canadian authorities. All they needed to do was to report. So it goes back to what really happens in this government and reporting channel. If that had happened, could they have reported to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Mr. Tuga says, okay, Canadian High Commissioner, please come. Let's engage in this. Is this the way best possible for a free-for-all and say, go to hell and all of that? Is that the best possible? The other residual part of making a case for development, yes, we can make a case for development, that if we have done well, they will not treat us well. Yes, but if we have done well as a nation, Nigerians will still need to travel to other countries. We are not an island.
Of course.
What were they going for in the first place? Invictus Games. Prince Harry, he came here and we're returning the favor, also attending. And you know the military just even finished a very successful African military games, which I have the tracksuit thanks to the CDS. It's a good one. I've won it a couple of times. Very good one. I must have to put a case in. But it also goes back to relationships. I do not believe the best approach and the best representation by the Nigerian government is to tell another country to go to hell. When we are not at the stage of escalation of things yet.
I mean,
my thoughts.
Absolutely. Talking about fixing our country.
Anyway, Rebadu, I think if I understand that the relationship has not been escalated to that point now, but I think if need be, you know, in some cases, when well, you're right. At this point, it's not the best of languages to do. We could be more diplomatic. But hey, I think it's time Nigerians begin to stand up for certain things. You know, let's fix it. That's why I like what Festus Keyamo is doing. Festus Keyamo has been able to look to the British, to the British in the eyes and say, guys, we need to have certain frequencies that we've granted you. You know, England, United Kingdom has 21 frequencies into Nigeria every week by the calculation. They have Virgin from Heathrow, British Airways from Heathrow into Lagos. That's 1477. Then they have British Airways into Abuja, making it 27. 27 frequencies, 7 times 3. But we only have one frequency, 7 frequencies to Gatwick. Now, if you go by the, by bilateral relationship, BASA, you basically know that if I've given you Lagos to Heathrow, you should reciprocate and give me Lagos Heathrow back, not giving me Lagos Gatwick. So I like the argument made by Festus Keyamo on that, and working hard on that. That at least APs moves to Gatwick, Heathrow as opposed to Gatwick. In the same vein, look at what Ojo is doing at the Minister of Interior. There are a couple. I mean, to be honest with you, in as much as this is not a government one worked for, but it will be unfair and inhuman to see certain things that are going right without also pointing them. Look at Ojo, the Minister of Interior, appears to be doing a couple of things right. You can hate or like Yeson Wike in Abuja. He's not entirely mad, because I have used Ubers in Abuja, and I've asked them, randomly, whenever I come into Uber, I ask them. And because again, it is the perception of the people. And these people, some of them are not even, they don't like the APC government, but they will still tell you this guy is doing something, trying to rebuild something that's been, damaged for a long time. Anyway, but that's the level where we are in Nigeria. I mean, it can grow beyond what you can comprehend. So having said all this, it brings me to the last part of my conversation with you this evening, which is the incident that happened in Anambra State, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, to be precise. Here we have the young lady. No, hold on. Here we have the young. Oh, sorry. We have the young lady who. Okay, this is the letter written by the school. The school, obviously. This is the letter here. I hope you can see that it's legible by your. Let me see if it's okay. Maybe it's better here. So let me quickly read that. In a very quick intervention, the university they met and they made this release today. And the reads, press release, update on the incident involving Dr. Chukwudi Okoye and Gode Mbakwe Chiamaka Precious. The management of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, wishes to update the public on the outcome of the disciplinary proceedings regarding the recent incident involving Dr. Chukwudi Michael Okoye, a lecturer in the Department of Theatre Art and Film Studies. The actors involved were given a fair hearing by the Students' Disciplinary Committee after a thorough review by the committee SDC. The act committed by Godin Bakwe Chimamaka Precious, a 300-level student in the Department of History and International Studies, was deemed a gross misconduct and a violation of Nnamdi Azikiwe University Student Disciplinary Regulation, particularly Regulation 4 SDR. Based on the committee's finding and recommendation, the acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Joseph I. Ekechibelu, on behalf of the University Senate, has approved the immediate expulsion of Godi Mbakwe Chimamaka from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. She is required to vacate the university premises immediately and return all university properties in her possession. The university management, under the leadership of Professor Joseph I. Ikechebelu, remains committed to maintaining the integrity of the institution by upholding discipline, ensuring a safe and conducive environment for learning and for fostering the development of scholars and leaders in character and excellence. Wow. So, eventually, signed by Angelica Lewis, acting head information public relation protocol. It means the young lady that fought the lecturer has been officially been expelled from the university, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. So, see what anger can do. So 3 years now wasted, or what can she do? Maybe she can transfer to another university and continue. So the younger ones watching me now, please be careful. The video she was making was in a public space without consent, and the man said, "Excuse me," but whatever led to the commotion, that to the point that she has to bite the guy, tore her dress, tore his dress or his clothes. It's we can't show some respect. So sometimes conflict escalates because of our reactions. Had she, at the point when the man touched her and said, "Excuse me," walked out, has she looked back and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir"? I bet you that would have been the end of the whole madness. Because listen, there is an adage in Igbo that says that "Iloma ka ejune di aga n'ogwu." There is a way you speak to someone, even someone who is angry. You disarm that individual. But hey, sorry, sir. There is someone many of you will know, a leader in Nigeria. Even when you get angry with him, when the man calls you and strikes a conversation by his demo, by the voice, by his tone, I guarantee you, you are very, very, very unlikely to say no to him. Sometimes humility is a virtue. Not everything that you must do with barak boys and just basically hanging shoulders. When you start a new, whenever a new semester starts, you get your course guidelines in there. And sometimes I think it's called, can't recall again. What's it called? Disciplinary, whatever. Code of conduct book. Yeah, code of conduct. That is normally in one of those things that they count out to you either the beginning of your first year. There is a booklet. Most universities, in fact, almost all the universities do that, where code of conducts are, how you need to conduct yourself in this. And I do not think that it is in any way, shape, or form allowed that in the period that you're supposed to be studying, that you are to be shooting TikTok, Facebook, YouTube videos. I know some of us that also have a second job that we do, a second life. You see that sometimes the reason you may not on a weekday, actually, even when you're free, be able to go live or record videos between the hours of 9 to 5 is because there is an organization that has paid for that hour. And if they find out, if you ever do, to say that, oh, you're going to record this video within these hours, that means you're going to be losing your job or your contract, whatever you're doing. If it's contracting, irrespective of whatever, they can still revoke it and saying that you are using their hours that they've paid you to do this. So in this case, this young lady hasn't done entirely right. But again, honestly, if that is what the university code of conduct says, that when such happens, that's what's going to happen, so be it, right? So be it. And I hope this serves as a note of warning to other young Nigerians to also know when not to do certain things. Please, to also, use the opportunity to say that you are angry. Just like someone, I watched, a video where two people were arguing. The other person, got so angry and reached out for a wooden plank and hit the other one. And the moment he hit the other guy fell down. And the moment he fell down, he that did the hitting really became agitated because the other guy is already on the ground. And what can you do? The same people gathered here now beginning to arrest you. Come, you have killed somebody. You don't kill somebody. Come and carry dead body where you don't kill. If you control your emotions, then you find out that we are very unlikely to get into trouble. In rounding up this Friday hangout this evening, I do not know if any of us want to, any of us have anything to say or add, but in rounding up, I hope we have not forgotten about the video by the South African mercenary that said that Goodluck Jonathan actually paid them to, destroy Boko Haram. But the moment Buhari took over, Buhari was the one that cancelled that contract to destroy Boko Haram. The question is Buhari innocent in all these things, because whatever that's happened with Boko Haram, for him calling them, for some northerners saying that these are their freedom fighters and whatever nonsense some of them say that of ignorance, is very really innocent in all this. I mean, that's my point. In the comment section is the link to join me if you wish. If not, let me just take this last clip. And this was, again, I know many of you must have seen this, but for the benefit of those who may not have seen it, just watch this interview with Balo, the guy from South African, right? Just have a listen.
Mop up one area in the south was the start, and after that was done, mop up in the north. The division would follow behind, occupy terrain. We would train the division in situ in defensive positions, etc. But we were never allowed to execute the entire operation. So in 1 month, we took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing. I think President Jonathan's government possibly saw the entire Boko Haram contract, if we call it that, almost as a last gasp in order to regain popularity. The incoming president, President Buhari, was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US.
Just let me pause this a moment here. Are you guys connecting the dots? US. Do not destroy what the US created. So if the US created Boko Haram, or rather funded Boko Haram through the USAID, and the same US under Obama that is funding the same thing cannot go back to say destroy. So it means Buhari coming into power, I am beginning to believe that it is also an orchestrated plan for the economy of Nigeria to be destroyed. For the only hopeful country in Africa as of that time, look at Libya. Libya was destroyed. Nigeria was also destroyed. And the ones we have now, again, came in. If the Buhari destroyed us 50%, this one now came, brought petrol, brought diesel and kerosene all together, mixed them together with matches and lighter.
And I'm not saying that the United States is bad. I understand foreign interests, but I would have thought that a threat such as Boko Haram on the integrity of the state of Nigeria ought to be actually a priority. It wasn't.
Why do you think the U.S. would intervene to abort such operation?
Again, I can't answer that. I think that the U.S. can answer, but what I've come to realize, that is when a government's foreign interests clash with the state's own domestic interests, conflict is bound to ensue. And those conflicts usually just continue with no end. And we can look at all the conflicts in Africa where foreign forces have come in, they've prolonged those conflicts, they haven't ended those conflicts. And the amount of money and manpower and equipment thrown at those conflicts says to me that something is wrong if no end result is achieved. And surely that end result should be to end the conflict and establish a basis for negotiations, come to an agreement, and then re-establish governance. But that's not what's happening in Africa.
How much did you charge the Nigerian government?
Well, first of all, we didn't charge the Nigerian government. And I think here that is a question the Nigerian government can answer. We were one subcontractor. So in other
Anyway, on the case of charging money, but the bottom line here is, people, something was happening in Nigeria that the former president Muhammadu Buhari was in the center of the whole thing. I have someone joining me here. Henry, would you mind turning on your camera? Can you hear me, Henry? Henry, you're there.
Mazi, but I'm here. I want to discuss something a bit different from what you're saying, but I'm happy meeting you on live. But it's something political. I don't know how we can connect offline. I don't want to say it here. It's something I want to discuss with you.
In the background there, I can share my number with you. You can connect to me then. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you have anything to say, you can join me. You can join me and have your say. Again, like I said, all these things that are happening is really making things very interesting. So my number is there, so you can always call me. Henry, I've shared my number. My number is not hidden. It's 070800422206. Or if those of you who are watching, if you prefer to call, the number to call is on the screen. It's +234. That's WhatsApp only. +234 70800422206. So that's the number to call. Right. So thank you very much. I see Anthony Obiora. Where are you joining me from, Anthony? Good evening. Good evening, my brother. I can see your message. Sadly, for spams, we have only restricted that only those who are subscribed to the platform can send message through stream when we are live. Please, by all means, like, share, and subscribe to this stream. What do you think is happening? We can make use of the you can make use of the telephone number, or you can join as been shared in the comment section, or you can comment. What do you think Nigeria should do now that we know that USAID was somewhat used in the funding of Boko Haram in Nigeria? What do you think should then happen? Because this is what is trending in Nigeria in every platform that you go. Now, this is actually, this is trending. If you check the Twitter, the trending as as far as Nigeria is concerned, that's trending. And there is also another trending issue that has to do with Binance. The guy that was arrested, that was kept in Nigeria, has come out to say that Binance actually, the guy that some individuals wanted them to pay 150 million, and under the supervision of the NSA, that is Nuhu Ribadu, and he accused Nuhu Ribadu of wanting to amass enough wealth to pursue a political, has a political ambition. And it is not hidden that many people have said that Ribadu appears to be the chosen one who Tinubu may likely hand over when he finishes if he wins the second term, right? Because it's no longer a hidden secret that Tinubu is trying all his best, knowing that he has fallen out of favor with the core north. When I say the core north, in this case, the northwest. That is where Erufai and co come from. So he's now trying to use the middle belt, or in a different nomenclature, the north, because the middle belt includes the north central and some part of northeast. And if you take middle belt up to southern Borno, that's still middle belt. Up to Michika in Adamawa, that's still middle belt. And that covers where Nuhu Ribadu comes from. So if you take that from the political calculation, it could be that he's been, he's grooming him to be the one to take over from him. But hey, we'll see. Man is not God. We'll never know what's going to happen in 2023 because some of these guys are also getting really, really angry. While I was talking, someone called my attention to this video that I'm about to play. They said that the girl that was expelled from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, that the ex-boyfriend has come out and added salt to the injury. Just have a listen.
I greet everyone. I want to tell you people something. This girl that fight her lecturer was my girlfriend before. Now she's my ex. This character is why we are not dating anymore. That girl character you see is very, very, very bad. She don't know how to talk. She don't know how to cook. What she know, only that video she's doing. I used to do everything for her. But she don't have single respect. Then if you name somebody's father, talk less of boyfriend, talk less of boyfriend. Her mother character is also like that. She's my girlfriend before. Now it's my ex. I'm not used to do video or whatever, but I say let me do this video. A lot of girls is like this, but this one exposed herself. A lot of girls is more dangerous than this girl. They are working as a human being, but they are not. That is why a lot of guys are single today, searching. When you want to marry, you will know that it's not easy to get a wife material. Assuming you marry this one tomorrow. Now this kind of one they key in husband. Now this kind of one they carry a knife, chook for a husband. Now this kind of one they cut in husband brick. That's why I leave her. Every day she they write me and they reply her message because I know.
Anyway, it's good you ran. If that's actually the truth, it's good you ran for your life now, but you're still alive because you have you've run away. People, that's the much I can take. I'm still your host, and it's been a pleasure having you for these Friday hangouts. Join me tomorrow as I host Dr. Obaseki from Edo. I'll be 7 o'clock Nigerian time tomorrow. In my State of the Nation, I'll be hosting Dr. Obaseki tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the Edo election, what happened, what is the next thing. Obviously, understanding that some of the areas regarding the petition, the Edo election petition, is going to be sub judice. That the phraseology is going to be different. However, we must find and strike a balance where law is not broken, yet information for the masses is extracted. I am Mazi. It's okay. Good night and God bless you all. Bye.